Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. And today we're going to be talking about the compartment numbering scheme again. Specifically, we'll be talking about the World War II era compartment numbering scheme and a little bit of why that changed. And of course, to explain that, we're going to explain I was going to say modern scheme. It's not contemporary modern, but modern for this ship. So, every compartment has a bullseye like this, a yellow square. The top number is the compartment number. But the bottom number is also the compartment number. And that is unique to New Jersey. Most ships you go on will only have 3 lines. Even other Iowa-class battleships you go on only have the top 3 lines. That lowest line is the World War II compartment number. It is retained on this ship because so many of the blueprints are not superseded by more modern ones. So when you're in this space, you're trying to find the blueprint for this space or for a piece of equipment in this space or something else, and you go to the 1980s compartment number and you use that to try and find this space, you're not going to find it because this space hasn't been changed much. So it's still using that original World War II blueprint, which is referencing the original number. So you need to know both of them. Remember that New Jersey is reactivated first in the 1980s. She receives the smallest scope of work and the cheapest reactivation, and it's the quickest. By the time the other Iowas are being reactivated, they're doing more work in individual spaces, they're producing more blueprints, they already have an updated set of blueprints for everything. That wasn't the case for New Jersey when she was reactivated for the most recent time. The more modern numbers, the size of the room, frame 79 to 83. So the forward bulkhead is frame 79, aft bulkhead is frame 83. It tells you how big it is. Remember, frame spacing on a battleship is 4 feet, so you can tell exactly how wide this room is, or you can just count the 1 foot long floor tiles. Whatever does it for you. The department that is in charge of it, this is the Marine Department's office, so MARDET is in charge of cleaning this space. And then the World War II number. The World War II number was used prior to 1949. In 1949, the Navy comes up with the better number that you see on the top line. However, remember, you have to change all the blueprints for the ship, you have to go around and repaint all these and re-stencil them. So most ships retain their original World War II number. And that's cool because the majority of the Navy was World War II built ships. It's not until the 60s or the 70s that you start to see those World War II built ships cycling out. And that's the point at which there's a complete changeover and they stop training sailors on how to read both of these systems and just go to the top system. So when New Jersey is reactivated in 1982, this changeover has just happened and her new crew members don't know how to read the original World War II numbers. So this is one of the very few ships that gets renumbered. The top number, the first number is where you are top to bottom. We are on second deck right now. 79 is where you are front to back. This compartment starts at frame 79. And then the next number is where you are, we've done the X-plane, we've done the Y-plane. Yes, where we are side to side. We've got to get our Z-plane out of there. So center line is 0, starboard side going outboard you have 1, 3, 5, it even goes up to 7 in some places. And port side going outboard, you've got 2, 4, 6. And then finally, the letter is a holdover from the old system. It tells you what kind of space you're in. Q is kind of a miscellaneous space, specifically offices. So, we're 2 decks down, at frame 79, on the port side of the ship, pretty far outboard because it's a 6, and it is an office. So even if I've never been in this room before, I'm new on the ship, I'm just reading the blueprints, and I read that, I can figure out where I'm going. The World War II number is different. It's less logical, I think, than the new number. It's good that the numbers are getting better over time. So first you have a letter. On New Jersey, those letters are A, B, or C. On some ships, you might even have a D section. So for us, A is everything forward of the engineering spaces. B is everything that is on the same plane as the engineering spaces. So engineering spaces on up. And C is everything aft of the engineering main spaces. Some ships, you'll have A is forward of the boiler room, B is the boiler room and everything above it, C is the engine room and everything above it, and then D is everything aft of there. I am not familiar with any ships with more or fewer letters than that, but it would not surprise me at all if much smaller ships have fewer letters. I just haven't run into any yet that I've recognized. So that tells you which third of the ship you're in. We're in the forward third of the ship, just before you get to the engineering main spaces. In fact, this space is over the turret 2 magazines. So we're right at the end of A section. And then you see the last number on there, letter, the last numeral on there is another Q. So again, this is an office space. You might have an M there for magazine. You might have a V for void, an L for living space. So Q, this is an office. Those letters stay pretty much the same between the pre-1949 system that's on the bottom one and the post-1949 system above it. In the middle is where it's less logical. So 214. 2 means that we are on second deck, just like the first numeral of the post-1949 system is 2. We know we're down on second deck. 14 basically just means that they started numbering all the compartments here. Usually it starts at the bow and works its way back, and this is the 14th compartment. There isn't really any rhyme or reason to it. The passageway, where the camera is set up right now, that accesses this space, is 217. So it seems like they started counting. This one's 14, the room behind us is 15, maybe the room behind that is 16, then the passageway is 17, and the room on the other side of the P-way is maybe 18. So it's kind of random. It's also complicated because you can get half and quarter numbers on there as well. So for example, this space needs to get divided in half in the 1950s, let's say. They put a partition bulkhead in here and they cut a door there. So now it is no longer 214, it is 214 and 214 and a half. And then you've got 215, 260, whatever else. Likewise, if this space is 2 rooms and we knock out the bulkhead, let's say we knock out this bulkhead that separates 214 and 215, well then we just delete 215 and you've got 214, 216, and there's no 215 at all. So for long-lived ships, especially like these, that sort of numbering system gets really confusing. And so there's a lot of really good reasons for changing over to a new system. Keep in mind, the U.S. Navy not only gets a tremendous amount of ship handling experience during World War II, but they get a tremendous amount of experience in bringing in new sailors and sort of throwing them to the wolves. And so that they start to realize that, you know, this system just isn't easy to learn. We need an easier way to train these guys if we're going to rapidly expand in wartime. The other thing that's going on in 1949 that leads to this new numbering system is the Navy is drastically downsizing post-war. It's losing a lot of its funding. So, quite frankly, they're looking for jobs to retain people. They're looking for ways to justify keeping folks here as the Air Force is created and starts to take a huge part of the Defense Department budget because they're the only ones that can deliver nuclear warheads. And so it kind of makes sense that that's the time period when the Navy's like, all right, you guys go build a better mousetrap. You guys go find out how to relabel every room on the ship. If you find yourself on a more modern ship, you'll see that that bullseyes like this and the compartment numbers are completely different. So there is a new, different system that has come out. And I actually haven't figured out how to read that one yet. If you want to see a video on the newest system, let us know in the comment section down below. The next time we get a chance to visit a modern ship, maybe we'll do a video on it. Which compartment number system do you like better? And as a historian, I do like the traditional systems typically, but the post-1949 system just makes so much more sense. It's so much easier to triangulate yourself in 3 dimensions where you are. But let me know what your favorite one is in the comment section down below. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate your support. There's a link in the description below if you'd like to donate to support the museum. You can also support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find out about us and the channel. Thanks for watching.